So after the first date, what happens next? Well, if it was a good date for you and you enjoyed yourself, and I'm going to address this to women now. If you enjoyed yourself on the date, I think what a lot of women do is they move right into, is he going to call me again? What's he going to do next? I actually like the idea of women sending some type of thank you for the date, because the men have a lot of responsibility in dating. They have the responsibility to ask you out. They have the responsibility to call you. They have the responsibility to create the date. They, for the most part, have the responsibility to pay for the date. So I just think that it is a really nice gesture as a woman to either make a phone call, to send a text, or even an email that just says, thank you so much for taking me out tonight. It was great meeting you. I had a wonderful time. I'm looking forward to hearing from you again. Something like that. And then what you've done is you've let him know that you're interested, you had a good time, and you put it out there, and now the ball's back in his court for him to respond back to you and ask you out again. You're not sitting around wondering, is he going to call me? Is something going to happen next? You've put it out there. He knows that you like him, and if you don't hear from him, you know it's just not a good match, and you can move on from there. But I really think, ladies, we got to step up to the plate, and we got to help fellas out, because they have a lot of responsibility in dating, and we judge them pretty harshly on whether or not they hit those areas that we feel that they are responsible for, and we need to take on some of the responsibility of dating as well.
Then it goes back to the question, should you call? What if you have a date and you're wondering, I want to call this person, should I call him? If I call him, is it going to leave the wrong impression? Am I going to seem desperate? Am I going to come off as pushy? Once again, that comes down to you as an individual. If that's your brand, you're okay with it, and it feels comfortable, then do it.
Yeah.
If it doesn't feel comfortable, then don't call and wait for them to call. Me personally, I believe that as far as my brand and what I try to teach people is to, if you want it, go for it. Yeah. A closed mouth doesn't get fed. And what do you have to lose by making a call? If that person gets turned off by you and feels like, you know what, you're being pushy and they don't want to talk to you and there's no love connection, fine, great. They're not the one for you. Move on to the next one. That means that the person that's for you is that much closer. But if you don't speak up, if you don't make an attempt to figure out, to make that call, then you're going to always wonder. And to me, I'd rather know than to sit around wondering, what if this? Does this person like me? I'm not good with the big question marks over my head. I like to kind of handle that. So
yes,
there's nothing wrong from my perspective with giving somebody a call.
Absolutely. And then for the guys, if you are interested and you are going to ask her out, do it soon, because she goes home and she's sitting and she's waiting and she's wondering and she's stewing in her own juices, wondering how you feel. So by the same token, reach out to her as well and say, I had a great time. I'm looking forward to going out with you again. Now she knows that you want to date her again. And then I also want to address after the date, what if it didn't go well? What if there was no chemistry and there was no connection? Should you just ignore that person? And they reach out to you? I think it's always nice to be honest, but be gentle. If someone texts you or calls you or emails you after a date and says, I had a great time, I'd like to see you again, and if you're not interested, I think that you should very gently say, I'm really flattered, and I just didn't feel there was chemistry between us, but you're a wonderful person, and I really wish you the best in dating. Thank you so much for taking the time to date me. I think that is just class. And I think it would really help relieve some of the tension and some of the pain of dating online when people don't know where you stand. I think that's just a great way to handle that situation.
I agree.